I've always had a strange obsession for coffee. I'm not sure why, but I think it's the warm feeling of the hot liquid going down my throat and into my stomach. I think it's the fact that it warms me to the bone. Moving on, however. I sat at the table, drinking my coffee cup. God, I love my job, I thought to myself with a grin on my face with a cup of coffee in my right hand. I glanced across the table to my friend. If you're not going to drink your coffee, why did you ask me to make you some? He kept silent, a blank look on his eyes as he stared at me. I shrugged. More for me. I reached across the table and slid the mug of coffee in front of me. I took one more long sip of my own cup, finishing it off with one large gulp. I returned to the paper in front of me, sketching a few things while moving on to the cup I had taken from him. I yawned deeply into my left sleeve, pausing my writing for only that. I frowned. Then I looked back up at my friend. David. That was his name, from what I recall. I glanced over to the TV in the kitchen, listening to the news anchor with breaking news. This just in, another body was found. I frowned. The body was found late last night, flowing down the Little River. It had multiple lacerations and it had the word fear, with the number 3 replacing the E carved into its stomach. Police are yet to let out any further information. This has been Action News, reporting to you live. I sighed after the newscast ended, looking over to David a bit tiredly. It appears they found my work, David. Now it's only a matter of time until they find you. I got up and walked over to the lifeless, pale body. It had a smooth laceration, nearly surgical, along the throat area, severing the carotid artery. I peeled his shirt off his body while sliding out a butcher's knife from one of the nearby drawers. I then slid my gas mask on. I brought the knife upon his stomach, beginning to carve TH3 into his stomach. Warm blood splattered along my shirt as I severed multiple veins. My gloves had blood painted on them, and I stabbed the bloody butcher's knife into the wooden table, letting it stick. I adjusted my mask with a gloved hand, and made my way to the back door. I sprint into the woods behind his house, while reaching for my cell phone. I dialed 911, having just thought of a marvelous plan. 911, what's your emergency? I responded in my tired voice. Yes, I'd like to report a murder. Okay, where's the murder taking place? Well, where would be the fun in that? I turned around and whipped the phone towards the house. It wasn't far, so it only hit the grass in the backyard, and then I turned around and ran off through the trees. The next day, I drove by the house. The cops were still there, examining the crime scene further for who knows what reason. They'd be looking for me now, but that would just add to the fun of this all. God, I love my job, I thought to myself as I drove towards the highway to get out of this place. For now.